Hey, good morning. Welcome, count. It's a Sunday, so I wanted to wear my Sunday uniform. Go Bears. I'm excited. Every day I read mock drafts and hope that most of them say the Bears are going to be down, get additional draft picks. So I'm excited. We've still got what? March, April, 2 months, a little over 2 months yet before the NFL draft. So I'm excited. Jason's in the house. What's up? Good morning. Jenny says this will be great. We're going to talk organization. Don't worry, it's not tips from me. You're like, this guy, look at his organization. Are we gonna listen to Bo? Look at his organization skills. No. My wife helped me out with some. I mean, after she gave the advice and okay, let's do this, this, and this. It's like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. How did I not see that? It was right in front of my face. So we're going to talk about that. Just Inventory says I jumped on early to make sure I was mentioned before. Where we at? What's up, man? Good morning. Good morning, Brian. Victor's in the house. Uncle Rich, good morning. Like, subscribe. Yes. Hey, look at that. 6 likes. Oh, we're up to 13. When I looked at first, it was 6 and 7. 6 likes, 13 watchers. That's good. We can take it. Good morning, Clark. What's up? Steve Ains Comedy in the house. Good morning. Good morning, Herman. What's happening? So did some organization yesterday. I did not do much shipping. I did a lot of shipping. I shipped from whatever time I ended the show yesterday morning until noon. And then I went about my day at noon. What did I do? I went to the post office. I went to Walmart. Fortunately, they didn't have any because when I came home, it's like, God, thank God I didn't buy any more cards. Thank God they didn't have anything on the shelf. They did, but it's stuff I didn't want. They did have some Heritage High Number, which I never bought any blasters of Heritage High Number this year. And then there were a couple blasters of Bowman Platinum, and I did buy some of those when they came out. So I bought some envelopes, forgot the copy paper. And then I made a grocery store run. And then I was going to come home and I was going to ship more because that's what I do. I ship and I list and I list and I ship. But I realized I keep putting off the organization. In the last few days, it's been something that's like, it's creeping and crawling closer to my, okay, I've got to get this done. I've just got to do it. Because I'm going to break an ankle just stepping over boxes of baseball cards. In fact, last night, I tripped over a box and I think I kicked something over, and I go upstairs and my wife goes, "Did you drop something really heavy?" And I'm like, just me. I tripped over baseball cards. So when you start tripping over cards and breaking ankles, that's when it's time to get organized. So I decided, okay, screw this. I'm going to get organized. So we'll talk about that. Jenny says, I mean, you aren't the best at organizing, but you do keep your eBay organized, and that's important. That is, yes. My eBay store inventory is 90% organized. 10% is just kind of piles that I have not organized yet. But yes, for the most part, the eBay store inventory is very organized. So I've got that going for me. Zach says, good morning. What's up, Zach? I always like then share on Twitter, then log off because you've sold out. SCG shilling is unbearable. Oh, SGC shilling. Yeah. I haven't submitted. I think I shared the update last week. The cards are still lost. My last submission, 6 cards, 3 of which are extremely rare that it'll be hard to, a couple of them, one will be extremely difficult to replace. It's the first 3 Fingers Brown card. The other 2 are pretty rare. I can probably pick one up off eBay, but they're higher grade and it would cost more than I'm willing to pay. So I think the deadline, Matt said, is coming up this week. So he's got all the insurance stuff in. So that's probably what's going to happen is I'm just going to get money for the cards. The good thing is it's going to end up being the value is more than what I paid, because some of the cards I bought, years ago. So I guess if there's silver lining, that is it. Three of the cards, I'm really just the Three Fingers Brown is like that's heart wrenching. I actually only had the card in my possession for 2 days. I got cocky. I jinxed myself. I got cocky because I bought it and it was a PSA 1. And I'm like, and I think I got on here and I'm like, look at this piece of crap PSA slab. And just talking all kinds of smack on the PSA slab, which it did. And PSA they do look like crap, tobacco cards in PSA slabs. So I think I received it on a Thursday. And on Saturday, it left my possession and was shipped off to SGC. It was graded. It got an SGC 1, which is what I was expecting. And then as it was in transit from FedEx, it's became lost, going on 2 months now. So that's the card that I'm really bummed about. There's a T207 Joe Tinker. I can probably replace that fairly easy. It's probably going to end up. See, the thing is, even though I paid less than what the insurance value is, it's probably going to cost me more to replace it just because it's a rarity. It's not like a Zion Williamson rated rookie or something. It's not like I can just go on eBay and boop, there we go, or go to any card show. I'll have to do it's going to take me some work. There was a Tip Top Bread, Johnny Schmitz, which those don't come up too often. I think last I looked, there was only 2 on eBay. So that's a disappointment. The other 3, there was a Lou Nabokov, or whatever. I think they're super ugly cards. I can replace that pretty easy. There's several copies on eBay. What else was there? There were 2 others. I can't remember, but all pre-war. So it's a bummer. So that's the update on my SGC. Harlan in the house. What's up, Harlan? Just Inventory says, I believe this episode has already made me realize that I need to put content on YouTube. My house looks like your background. Guess it's not that crazy. Yes, there you go. Let's see. Minnesota Cards. What's happening? Good morning. Hello from Minnesota. Welcome to the chat. Let's see. Herman says, apparently the government has paid Purina and other large feed producers to add chemicals to their chicken feeds sold in stores to make them stop laying. Well, that's interesting. That's something we don't always talk about on Hobby Evolution. Let's see. Herman says, sorry, I know that's not related to the topic. When do we ever talk about the topic, right? But that's something we can, that's interesting. Kyle, what's happening? Good morning to you. Sucks about the lost cards where they lost in the way it was on the way back. So they were actually scanned. They were picked up from SGC. They were scanned as picked up, and then they even left the origin facility in Florida. So the last scan was, I think, December 11th or 12th, sometime in early December. They were actually scanned. The last scan was left origin facility. And from there's been no word on the package in almost 2 months now. Jenny says a PSA slab looks a lot better than a hole in the wall collection. I guess. I mean, if I knew my card was going to get lost, I would have left it in the PSA slab. But unfortunately, I can't predict the future. Paige and Deanie Bean, what is up? Good morning. Harlan says, I have a 38 card order ready to go to SGC. Includes a bunch of 86 Fleer basketball, 53 Mantle, and an old Judge WV player, Sam Barkley. Very cool. Very cool. Dan says, good morning. I passed 35,000 last night. He's talking eBay listings. Very nice. Harlan says, hope for safe trips there and back. Absolutely. The thing, and here's the thing. So I went through a group subber. It's the first time he's ever had a package lost. And he does, I don't even want to say how many because I'm probably wrong, but he does high volume of sending to PSA and SGC, and I think he even does CSG. So it's his first lost package out of all of those submissions. So it is very rare that it happens. Unfortunately, it happened to me. Dan, thank you. Sheena in the house. What's up, Sheena? Paige and Deanie Bean says, Herman, Dean was thrilled with the Yeliches. Paul Heath is here. What's up? Jenny says, we better talk about the topic today. I'm very curious how the wife wants this basement to play out and then follow the journey to see if it, in fact, will. Well, there's only, let's see, March, April, May, 4 months or less. So it's only going to be in its existing format for 3 months maybe. So it's and that's another like, oh crap, 3 months. I've got to get on my ass to get things organized so I can dump off some bulk so I have room to move and walk. So I've got 3 months to get this basement to where I need it to be so I can move to the next basement. Let's see. Where we at? Herman says, glad he liked the Andrew. I have a few more to send. Goof morning to you, Cooter. Here we are. Hey now, Raphael. What's up, Raphael? Have you started digging into your basketball? Harlan says she wants to hire an arsonist to take care of it. Woods and Water in the house. What's up? Let's go. Now we can get the day started. Boson, good Sunday morning. Good morning, friends. Had a great hobby chat last night with some hobby friends. We just kind of shot the bull last night. Talked about a little bit of everything. Talked about our collections. Talked about Cooter's parties. Talked about wrestling. We talked a little wrestling. I think most of the guys, I think there was just 3 of us on. So we talked wrestling. I know the non-wrestling guys were no longer part of the chat. I was showing off some of my old wrestling magazines. So I was some of the fun parts of organizing is finding things, and why I don't take advice from me. What's up, Johnny Boy Cards? One of the things I enjoy about organizing is finding hidden treasures, and usually it's stuff I know I have, but I forgot I had it. So I found I keep everything. I mean, I was showing off. I have notes that people have sent me. Now, some of them I get tossed, but usually I try to keep like all the notes that people send me in trades and stuff. So I had a couple in a group chat. I actually, the first 2 I found were friends in a group chat. But I also found like some of my old ticket stubs, and it's like, sometimes I know at one time I had them, but it's like, maybe I just threw these away. So this is, speaking of wrestling, this is World League Wrestling. I paid $15 for this ticket. Doesn't have a year, but I know it was early 2000s, and I'm thinking 04, 05, somewhere around there. World League Wrestling. This was actually Harley Race's wrestling school based out of Missouri. This event was in Keokuk, Iowa, right along the Mississippi River. You can go back, and I found results. And the only Harley Race was there, and I think Dr. Death Steve Williams was also, and actually both Harley and Dr. Death are no longer with us. One of the performers who was a student under Harley Race was he wrestled in the WWE, but he's probably best known as being the son of a superstar. It was Ted DiBiase Jr. He wrestled on this card as a wrestling student under Harley Race. Saturday, March 10th, and I can't remember the year, 04, 05, somewhere around there. This is something that I looked, and this was always something I thought this might have been my first autographs. These are Quad City Angels on a ticket stub, and we would get free tickets from the Eagle Country Market grocery store. So this was the Quad City Angels versus the Cedar Rapids Reds, June 22nd, 1991. It was Eagle family baseball night at John O'Donnell Stadium. They're no longer the Cedar Rapids Reds. They're no longer the Quad City Angels. It's no longer John O'Donnell Stadium, and Eagle Country Market is no longer in business. I've always thought either my Earl Cunningham that I ended up destroying as a kid, I thought Earl Cunningham was my very first autograph, but then I'm like, I remember this ticket stub. I remember I was 9 years old. I think I just turned 9 years old. And I remember getting like the manager's autograph. Yeah, Mike Tation or something. There's 2 other players. Unfortunately, they have their numbers. I could actually Google and find out who those players were on the Quad City Angels. But this took place June 22nd, 1991. So this would not have been my first autograph. So it's confirmed that Earl Cunningham was, in fact, my first autograph because I got that signed in the summer of 1990. So by a year. What else? More wrestling, a WWE SmackDown ticket from 2008. This is actually in much better condition than the 1990s WWE tickets I have. I don't think anything special happened on that event. I really don't even remember that going. I remember I went with my buddy Joe, who's a radio personality in St. Louis now, and my buddy Arnie, who I go to the National and Cubs convention with, SmackDown ECW, but I don't remember anything about that event. I remember going to like a restaurant before. This was it the market? Oh, it was the iWireless Center at that point. Here's another Quad City River Bandits ticket against the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. This would have been WRMJ-WGEN. So these tickets were from my radio days. Comp tickets. This was a fun one. Kansas, Oregon State. This was when I was working in college athletics. We played UMKC, the Kangaroos in Kansas City. We actually stayed downtown, which usually when we played UMKC, we stayed in like the, I can't remember the district, the shopping district where the upscale stores are, upscale to me. But we stayed downtown, and Kansas and Oregon State were in town, just a couple blocks away. So I actually paid more for these tickets. Me and my buddy Josh, who was my broadcast partner, we bought these from a scalper. I think we paid $80. Ticket price, face value was $72. We were baseline, like 20th row, not great seats, but it was fun to be there. The Kansas City Showdown, Jayhawks and Beavers. We played the next day. We got into town that day and then played UMKC the next afternoon. Okay, I'll stop boring you with ticket stories. One more. Peoria Chiefs, 2001. I thought initially maybe Albert Pujols was on this team, but I think he was in Peoria a year prior in 2000. But I do remember this game. J.D. Drew was on rehab assignment. I was 19 years old. I do remember going with, I think I was the only underage in my party. Actually, there was one other guy, I think Todd. It was a really the group I went with was not like a friend group. It was like more of an acquaintance group. And it was just like 4 random guys. And that's kind of the cool thing about living in a small town is you're just like, we would hang out in the bank parking lot. And like one guy would be like, hey, do you want to do this? And then like, you'd get 3 random dudes like, yeah, I'll do that. And you're like not friends. Like the 3 other guys that I went to this game with, I probably would not have I wouldn't have like gone and hung out with them. Which kind of makes it fun, you know? Todd, Rob, and Troy, we went. Troy was I think it was likely Troy's idea because he was a diehard baseball fan. And we went, and they were, Rob and Troy were of age, so they were able to smuggle me some adult beverages as an underager. Oops. Is the, I think the, what's that term called? I don't think I can get in trouble for that anymore. Herman, you missed the wrestling talk. Johnny Boy Cards in the house. Raphael says, yes, I have tons of fun. Stimulus overload. Not sure how you go through all those pallets. It is me neither. It takes a lot of time. Let's see. But Raphael, I've found, as I've dug through like these boxes, I found a lot more basketball. So once you get through that, typically when people buy bulk, that when they go through it, it's exactly what Raphael said. Not sure how you go through all those pallets. It's stimulus overload. And like before, I'll sell bulk to people like, truckload of cards, and they're like, "Yeah, just keep these coming." And then once they like get them all and they unload it, like one of them that I sold last year, the guy, like, as I was unloading, he's like, "Holy crap, I did not realize it was this many cards." And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." Many people don't realize how many 100,000 cards or 200,000 cards actually is until you fill up your minivan or SUV, and it takes up all of the space. Herman missed the wrestling talk. Brian says, trying something new, adding comics to my store. Very nice. I know nothing about comics, and comics to me are like hockey and soccer. Like, I have no interest in even learning about comics. Let's see. There's Brian's link to his eBay store. Very cool. Let's see. Cooter says, Dr. Death, Steve Williams, boomer. Yes, he was a boomer sooner. Dr. Death, Steve Williams. Brian's going to be adding more to his eBay store. Steve says, so what's the best way to organize your collection and eBay store? Asking for a friend. Yes, let's get into it. Jenny says, what's the term called? Bo's a shithead. Yes, I am totally a shithead. Raphael is in for more basketball. Excellent. So, Steve, let's talk organization. So yesterday it's like, okay, I'm breaking ankles. I'm tripping over boxes. I've got to get organized. So it's always best to start. It's better to start, even when you're like, in what I've learned, in just accumulating more and more and more cards, it's always better. Yesterday is the best time to start getting organized, but today is better than tomorrow. Today is better than next week. Tomorrow's better than next week. Sooner the better. That's what I just had to tell myself. I had to talk myself into it yesterday. Today is the day. I've got to just, even though I have 100+ items to ship, I need to focus on organization, because I might be able to streamline and be more efficient if I actually can, have a working space where I'm not crushing water bottles and I've got a 3 inches high of labels. So I just started to dig in, like, just start. My brain, and all of our brains work differently. Like, we just all think differently. My wife, bless her heart, A, for putting up with this mess, but B, for having an organizational thought process. She's like Marie Kondo, which I think we learned the other day in chat. Marie Kondo is like a messy person now. So my wife is now the new Marie Kondo. So she's a machine. She loves to organize, and she's really good at it. So I just started digging in. I went upstairs to get some trash bags, and she's like, "Oh, are you cleaning?" And I'm like, there's the deep sigh. Well, I'm trying to organize. Do you need help? She loves to organize, even if it's a mess and it gives her anxiety. She loves to organize because, it helps her feel in control of the mess, the chaos. So, in her thought process and my thought process on organization is like two different spheres. My thought process is, I don't need help because only I know where I want to put things. That's my thought process. I'm going through these cards, I'm consolidating boxes, and that's kind of where I was at. Was I'd have a 4-row box, but only 2 rows were full, and then I'd have another 4-row box with only 2 rows full. So I would consolidate, but there might be some cards I might pull out. Actually, Herman, I found a couple Braves cards, a couple Freddie Freemans that were supposed to go in your flat rate box, but I know you ordered some stuff out of my store, so I will include those in your order. It's things like that, my wife would have no idea. Nobody else would have. I'm the only person that would know that. So that's my line of thinking is, well, you're not going to know what I'm going to set aside for Herman, what I'm going to set aside for my eBay store, blah, 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 blah. So that's where I was coming from with, I just need to do this myself. However, I have no idea, I know that part, but big picture, that's where my wife is thinking. She's big picture. I can't think big picture when it comes to, like, I'm thinking from a micro level, like, okay, this needs to go here. This is eBay. This is Cubs. This is whatever, quarter box at a card show. That's where I'm thinking from a micro level. She's at a macro level, like, okay, do you need this? Do you need this? Okay, how about consolidate this space? And all of a sudden it's like, you are a magician. I didn't even think of that. And then as I look back, why didn't I think of that? It's kind of like Dave Ramsey in the Daily Money Makeover. And Dave Ramsey is not a genius. He just has a lot of common sense. Like the stuff he tells you on how to save, it's like he's not reinventing the wheel on financial freedom. He just speaks in common sense, like, oh yeah, that's easy. And that's where we were at with this. So let's get to the chat. There's just a couple chats I think I missed. Let's see. Herman says I've been working on reorganizing for a week now and just now started feeling like I've made a dent in it. And that for me is the toughest part. It's getting your hands dirty, getting started, and then all of a sudden it's like I've been doing this for 6 hours and like this room is still a mess. But then if you look closer, it's like, okay, yeah, I've actually, I don't know. I showed off. I was moving my camera around last night, and I don't want to move it and like mess up the thing. But like down here, you can actually walk over here. You can actually walk around back to that section. Yesterday morning, there was a stack about 4 feet high of boxes that I couldn't even step over because it was so tall. So I have made progress. Mark Hoyle in the house. What's up? Cooter says you can't see the forest through the monster boxes. Right. That's exactly true. So after hemming and hawing and telling my wife, you just don't know what I need to move around. Like I could use the help, but you're probably going to have to ask me on every card. So she's like, well, do you want me to come down and look? And I'm like, okay, come down and look. And then all of a sudden, so we started, I showed her this and she's like, okay, you've got a lot of work to do. So we went to the unfinished area, which is where like, it's not supposed to, it's okay now because we're moving, but like, that wasn't okay to put, well, I guess I'm doing this full time now. So it's more, I get more of a pass. It's not like a hobby anymore, where I'm not just bringing home cards and selling willy-nilly, like, oh, I'll sell them when I sell them. Now it's like a business and it's inventory. So I get a pass at using that space. And I'm using a lot of it now because I just keep bringing in more and more cards. And I've sold a few bulk lots, like truckloads. I probably sold 1 million cards last year in bulk. And so, but I probably brought in 1.5 million or 2 million cards. So my wife's like, yeah, he has 3 million. I'm like, no, it's probably 2 million. She's like, no, I think it's closer to 3 million because she knows how many boxes are coming in and how many are going out. And there's still more coming in than going out. Anyway, so we start from there and there's some sections and I have a few of these we put some heavy duty shelving units in there to organize it. I think when Herman was here, yeah, we had not put the shelves up when Herman was here. I think it was like the week after Herman visited last April. So it was a mess. Herman saw the mess. I mean, it was like that room was kind of like this. Actually, this card room when Herman was here might have been more organized than the unfinished area. And now it's vice versa. So one of the entire top row of one of these shelving units in that storage area is just lids to like these boxes don't have lids. And I always wonder when I go, I'm like, God, I have so many lids. Where are all the boxes to these lids? And it's like, oh, well, here they are. Anyway, whole row. And she's like, do you need these lids? And I'm like, yes, but the boxes are all over the place. And I guess they're right here. But some I can consolidate because I know I've like just dumped some boxes, with bulk and all that. So like the really crappy, and I do want to buy some fresh boxes for like my Cubs collection. I want them in nice new boxes. So she's like, well, let's consolidate and because basically I just throw those lids on top of the shelf and there's a lot of consolidation that can be happening. So we did that. I threw away a bunch of lids, recycle. There was some like some of our biscuit dog stuff we consolidated with another shelf. So it basically gave me two big rows. I have a couple of these cheap plastic shelving units, and my wife's like, just to give you like space, why don't we put one of these plastic shelves in the bathroom? So now I have one of these that I'm filling up with boxes of baseball cards in the bathroom. It's not ideal. I don't want to store baseball cards in the bathroom, but just in the interim, for the next, week or so, I just need space where it's out of my way. I'm not tripping over boxes. I have a spot and it's dedicated to basically my also, like, I'm going to be doing the Rockford Card Show next Saturday, and it's like, man, where am I going to find new quarter box? Like, I want fresh quarter box inventory. Well, holy shit, I found plenty of quarter box inventory just yesterday as I scratched the surface. So I've got plenty of quarter box inventory. The bathroom shelf, that'll be, yes, there's lids on the boxes. Not going to get bathroom air on them. So I'll get them out quickly. Where are we at? Let's see. Herman says, and I have less than Bo has on one shelf. Jenny brings up a great point. I think I'm going to put that to work. Yes, put the lids under the box. That is genius. I think basically why I don't do that is I actually don't know why. I don't know why I don't do that, because it's like, yeah, these boxes are right here. And obviously, this is my inventory. So when I go to move my inventory, these are going to have lids as I move them to the new house. Any advice on how to sell junk era cards in bulk? Man, I wish. My best bet, my best options have been Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. Now, you're going to have to sell them for like a tenth of a penny a card. So you're going to have to sell like 200,000 cards for $400-500. Started at $500 and then start taking offers. I've sold as low as like $300. So that's where you're at. So it's not ideal, but if you really want to get rid of them, you can probably make more. What's the threshold for donations? I think it might be 500 for donations. So you can put them on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. You'll get $300 to $500 eventually. Now it takes a while also. It's not like you're going to put them on and sell them in a day. I've had, my listing has been up for like 2 months, my last listing, and I haven't been able to find any take. I've got a couple guys that are kicking their tires, so hopefully I can get them moved. But it's not easy. So your best bet, like to get rid of them quickly, is probably just take the tax right off, donate them to Goodwill, and get the donation. Rich says 5K is the magic number for donation. Is it 5K? I thought it was 500. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but you'd probably be better off. If it's 5K, you'd definitely be better off just taking the tax right off, because it's going to be a pain it's not a pain. It's time consuming to get rid of them. And the dollar value you get out of it cash wise is going to be far less than what a tax write-off will be. I'm going to skip ahead to Uncle Rich real quick. As a person whose office is full of donations and has talked to people who have donated me cards and then talked to their accountants, I can tell you 5K is, so take Rich's word for it, 5K. So my suggestion, just donate them. And you're probably saying, well, why don't you donate them? That's a really good idea. However, I'm not going to donate them to Goodwill, because guess what? I'll just buy them back and I'm back at square one. So I'll have to donate them to a different, we've got like St. Vincent, St. De Paul. So now that I know it's 5K, and if you want to donate them to me, you can ship them to me. I don't want to ship them. I don't want to ship them. And the shipping is also tax deductible. Because when it comes to shipping, then it becomes just a hassle, like a time-consuming hassle. I'd love to ship them to you, but it becomes time consuming. If I could have like a company come in and like put them on a pallet, wrap them and all that, and me not have to do any work, I'd consider it. So yeah, junk air, getting rid of junk air is tricky, tough. I try to sell. I'd rather have the cash, but now knowing that 5K is the tax write-off number, but I will talk to your talk to your tax guy. I'm gonna reach out to my tax guy and see, because I'm getting to the point where like I need to get rid of this stuff and I'm not gonna wait, and I might just drop it off at St. Vinny's and take the tax write-off. Big Booty Bob in the house. What is up? Do you have any mantle that we could see? No, I do not. I'm a Cubs guy, so any high-end stuff, and I don't do much vintage. I don't do really any vintage outside of Cubs. I've got a lot of Cubs vintage, but I don't have any non-Cubs vintage. Let's see. How much should I sell 1,000 cards for? That is a loaded question. I cannot answer that. And if you want to donate to me, you can ship them to me. Oh, we just talked about that. Let's see. Ernie Banks. I do have some Ernie Banks. Also, if you're going to donate a decent amount of stuff, get the EIN from the nonprofit. Yes. So that's probably an avenue here as I'm like really in purge slash dump mode. That's now an option. Now that we talk through this, it's like, oof, that might be a better option right now, just to get rid of stuff faster. And I'd rather take a tax write-off on, $1,000, $2,000 than $300 in cash, $500 in cash. So that's where I was at yesterday and last night. As we like dove into it, I'm like, I told my wife, I'm like, I'm gonna run to Quick Trip and get some beer. And she goes, "You're gonna need it." So I had some Coors Lights, and we had a little Zoom chat last night. Did some of that. Did some organizing and moving stuff around. Still got a lot of work to do. I've got a lot of shipping. I've over 200 items to ship this morning. So I'm going to focus. I think I'm going to similar focus today. Similar focus today that I did yesterday. So I'll ship in the morning, and then around lunchtime I'll break for lunch, and then focus this afternoon on more organization. Let's see. Cooter says 5K is the limit for a single item or similar item that requires a qualified third-party appraisal of value. Excellent. Okay. Let's see. Jenny says, what sounds better right at this moment, a tax write-off or a storage unit? Go with that answer. A tax write-off, because a storage unit's going to cost me money. And I'm just moving it from one place to another. And then I still have to deal with it and pay for a storage unit. Tax write-off sounds much better. Let's see. Big Booty Bob wants to know how many cards I have total. Probably in the 3 million range total. Close to 900,000 Cubs cards. Let's see. And now knowing because I can quantify what 900,000 Cubs cards looks like. 900,000 Cubs cards is basically that entire back wall and about half of this shelving unit plus some boxes on the floor. So that's 900,000 cards. So there's likely close to 2 million cards in this room. There's probably another million in that room. And then there's probably, several thousand in my storage. So somewhere between 3 and 4 million, maybe. I'll say 3 million, a little more conservative estimate. Let's see. Low Roller wants to know, are you going to list more LeBron James? He will break the record this week. If I find any, I'll list them. Kind of like Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. That's I found a few like just basically common stuff that'll be like $2 cards in my eBay store. I think there was a LeBron James rookie card in this latest Goodwill palette. So I'll throw that on eBay as well. But it's not like a top rookie card. It's one of those, I think it's like an insert rookie or, something like that. Paul, what's happening? How many new dealers for Madison in 2 weeks? Oak Creek was hopping yesterday because nothing to do and nothing good for sports on TV. I'm at quite a bit of first-time dealers. We're 3 weeks away? 21 days. Yeah, we're 3 weeks away. Let's see. I know I'm at least a half a dozen first-time dealers. Let's see. Heidi is a first-time dealer for February. Let's see. Jake is back. He's only set up a couple times, and it's been a while. Jace is back. It'll be his second show. Ben, tough to find stuff on Instagram, his second show. Matt is back for his technically third show. He was set up in January, but the prior show was like May of 2021. Let's see. Juan is back for his second show. Greg is a new first-time dealer. Matt is a first-time dealer. Joe is back for the second time. Ryan's back for, I believe, the third time. It's been almost a year though for Ryan. So a lot of like new faces that they may not be first timers, but they haven't set up in several months. Let's see. Rich says the other advantage of a tax write-off is you can say each card is like 5 cents each, even if you sell them in bulk for half a cent each. Yeah, for sure. And so what's, say I dropped off 200,000 cards. 5 cents might be a little, 5 cents might strike. Let's see, 5 cents. Say it's 200,000 cards times 5 cents. What's that? That's 10 grand. That would set off a red flag. So say it's a penny and 200,000 cards, $2,000. So that's probably, I don't know. I'll talk to my accountant before I do anything. Let's see. You have too many freaking cards. That is the correct answer. Any nice pickups this week for your PC to Low Roller Scratcher? Low Roller, what did you pick up this week? Adam Lee, what's happening? Good morning. Pro Bowl should be canceled since it is flag football now. Big Booty Bob says, I'm looking to sell all 30,000 cards because because I'm going to school to become a rabbi. Is that Greg from Racine? I don't know. Greg Miller is his name. I think he might be from Racine. Is that his name, Greg Miller? I don't know if he texted me or Facebooked me, but I'm not sure. Kevin, what's up? What is selling best at shows? I did the Rockford show last week, but I was so busy and I didn't really have a chance to walk the floor to see what was selling. Somebody said Joe Burrow was selling, and was that before or after they lost? But Joe Burrow was selling, but it might have been before they lost the game. So I think right now I would, just guessing, Mahomes and Hurts are probably selling really well. I know for me, from my eBay store standpoint, I'm starting to move a lot of baseball prospects again. It's kind of been slow the last couple months, which is always expected in the offseason. Typically, January starts to peak interest again in baseball. So that's probably, I would say, similar is likely happening. Although football always seems to be king at card shows. Let's see. Bruce says, as for write-offs, would the cost of renting a storage unit be accepted? Oh, for sure. Yeah. Cause it's a business expense. Be funny if you donate 200,000 cards to Goodwill, then in your next Goodwill pallet purchase, you get them all back. That's why I would not take them to Goodwill. I would not take them to Goodwill because I would just be, paying for my own cards. Jenny says, ask your accountant what a donation to a school like elementary school for kids packs prizes could look like for tax write-off. That would be too much busy work. Like I want to take the easy route. Plus like what I have, kids don't want. Like kids don't want my 1991 Fleer. So I just drop them off at St. Vinny's. Boom, done with it. Give me the receipt and be done with it. I don't want to ship unless it's a sale. I don't want to ship. I don't want to package them because likely if once you start getting into like donating them to schools or other organizations, are like, well, this is what we're taking. Kind of like when you donate to like an animal shelter or a food pantry. It's like, well, we take this, and this, and not this, that, and that. So rent a shredder and a blower and get that attic. There you go. I'll just get a shredder and put it all in the attic. So that's what I had for today. Wish me luck on the rest of the organization and see if I make any progress today. Got a lot of shipping to do. So hopefully I can get some shipping done this morning and then tackle the rest of this card room this afternoon and this evening. So I'm going to go so I can get to work. Have a great Sunday. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, all that fun stuff. Back at it tomorrow, regular time, 7 a.m. Central. Let's see, next week, I do have a card show next Saturday, so I will not be live next Saturday. I'll be back at the Rockford Card Show, quick turnaround. So I'll be back in Rockford next Saturday. I will have all new quarter boxes. I'm bound and determined to get organized and get new quarter boxes for next Saturday's show. It's really important because I want to make sure I have new stuff for because I just did the same show 2 weeks ago, last week. So Rockford next Saturday. So with that, have a great day, like, subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.